Okay, my name is Stuart, and this is my experience in buying a car in the Philippines. At the time I was in Australia, I didn't see the car in person, and this is where the problem starts from the very beginning. I didn't see the car in person. I had my father and my stepmother over here looking at the car. The car where I bought it from is Automax. They're still, to this day, they still got an ad for the car, which I'll just quickly just bring it up. Is the 2016 Ford Ranger. It's done up by Autobot. Now, a lot of there was a few red flags in this ad. With the kilometers, they had two different sets of kilometers, which means that they were still using the car. When my father saw the car, the tires were virtually shot, so that needed to be replaced. I was told that there was a GPS head unit in there. It was no GPS head unit. They basically inflated the car up so much that I was very hyped to get an off-road car, and I normally have off-road bikes, so this was something I was going into, just basically walking into blindfolded. So I, liked the car, so much, spoke to the lady over the phone. She told me there was no problems other than what was seen. But when the car was turned on, there was a lot of warnings, and that was supposed to be addressed. Till this day, the sensor problem on the car has not been addressed. There's a list of issues that I could just keep on going, but what I'll do is I'll go back to the negotiation and basically the cascade of problems I just kept on going through. So in a way, this is a review of the shop and basically showing my experience, and hopefully you guys will learn from my experience and do not do what I have done, because if you do what I've done, you're going to get stung just like I have, and you'll be up for thousands of dollars, or if not thousands of pesos, or hundreds of thousands of pesos in the case of what I'm sitting in with right now. Did I get the car checked out? Yes. But I'll get to that later. So I'll just go back to the negotiation. So over the phone, I was talking to the sales lady, and this was a representative of Automax. One of the conditions I put forward is, if I was to make a purchase of this car, can I bring it back when I arrive if there's any issues or any faults or anything like that? She said yes. I have witnesses to that. Apparently there was a writing of it, but the sad truth is we didn't get a copy of it. We were told that we were going to get some sort of copy after the initial purchase. Once the purchase had gone through, months have gone by, and then I happened to bring it up when I found the problems. The email of the conditions that was supposed to be sent to us was never sent to us, which is just another problem on my behalf. I didn't follow it up. I didn't chase it up. So, and I hope that you just do not go through what I went through. So, now the problems. Now, she said to me that there was no problems of the car, but straight off the bat, the tires were different. Basically the tires were shot, so I needed to get new tires. So that's $200K up front for new tires. The fog lights at the front of the car was not working properly at all. Basically, you turn on the fog lights and all you got was headlights. Had to change the bulbs on the front of the car because the lights was about to die. That guy looks like he's about to reverse into another car. Thank God it's not my car. That's awesome. So I'll continue on. The head unit of the car had no GPS. I was told that there was supposed to be a GPS unit, so I had to upgrade the head unit. Also, in the first 3,000 Ks of me driving the car is when basically the cascade of problems. The upper control arm, the shocks, the wheel bearings, all gone. So basically I'm looking at a decent full front end replacing of the shocks and that done. Fortunately for me, I have a roughly a keen sense that if there's a problem, I stop and I check it. Don't keep on going, and it's just going to break down on you. The other things that I had written down that there was a bit of a problem was I was told, just going to my notes, I was told that the mileage on the car was between around 700 to 800. So if that was the case, that would match up with the 2013 model, which is what I'm in now, of the mileage that I would be getting. But instead I'm getting between 550 and 650 depending on the fuel. That's just, that's one of the problems. The next one was the winch. I was told that the winch in the car was working, and I was told to go to Autobot to get another remote. Autobot told me to go back to the dealership to get them to chase up the previous owner. Apparently the previous owner had a falling out with Autobot. I don't know the full story of it, but that was with what I was told from Automax, and then it was also somewhat semi-confirmed from another shop called Top Road Philippines, which I bought more accessories for this car. I just didn't know what was going on. I didn't have all the full information of what was going on between that dealership and Autobot. So I was just trying to minimize the dealing between the two shops because I just didn't know what was going on. So the next thing that I had found out was all right, so going off my notes, another thing was a problem was the side steps that folded up to the car, then they dropped back. So there was a money that was sent from the dealership to Autobot, and that was around 30 something K, around 30K, somewhere around about that. But that was to fix up the side steps. Now the side steps broke. Now with my stepmother jumping out of the car, well basically stepping out of the car, she actually fell out of the car. So that was something I had to fix up on the spot. So if I was to work out what was the complete bill of this whole fiasco, it's probably between 400 and 500,000 in repairs that I have to do. I know that I'm not going to get nothing from that shop. Basically, what was told to me was from that shop was nothing was written down. They had a smart look on their face. I had my partner with me. I even told them that my stepmother and my father was there. Does that even count? And she goes, well, nothing's in writing. We've even seek legal advice. We've got a barrister on our side that has told us we don't have to legally repair your car because there's nothing in writing, and you can't force us to shoulder the repairs. And that was her saying. That's what she said. But did she say that or not?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you could hear my partner in the background. She said yes. So there's no point. I'm not seeking to start drama or anything. I've basically tried to give plenty of time. I've been shuttling back and forth between the dealership, basically making statements about Autobot basically saying, look, this has happened to him a number of times and this is a normal occurrence. I can probably understand why I haven't really been invited to any of the Autobot events because there's a lot of drama going on with that particular car, and I have a particular feeling that my car is no longer called the Ultra Magnus. It's called the Excommunicated, because that's a whole nother video again. I'm going off topic. I'm going back onto the Automax. As I said, 400k, between 400k and 500k is my repair bill. Learn from my mistake. Check the car in person. Get a second opinion if you can. If there's anything like I can help you with, send me a message, ask me. I've got first-hand experience, and this is with dealing with purchasing from a dealer that they said that they actually apologized to us. I don't know why, but they were laughing and smirking about it, in which it kind of inside I felt like they were baiting me to try and have it. Didn't they were trying to bait me, weren't they, babe? Yeah, they were trying to like as if get me to snap. And I'm a pretty patient guy. I'm more than patient. Like, I've had people yell at my face and I did not snap. If you're dealing with this company or you see that car, just beware. Like, if I've had to fork out between 400 to 500k, and she even said that she's had other customers come in and had to do repairs as well. So if that's the case, and as other customers have done that, why haven't I've seen any reviews or anything like that? So I figure, take the initiative, do a video review. I'm actually thinking about becoming a YouTuber. So this is going to be one of my first videos. It sucks that I have to fork out. If I was to work out between Australian money, it's anywhere between maybe 10,000 to say about 12 to 14,000 Australian that I'm going to be forking out in repairs. So yeah, whatever you do, check the car in person. If you see this see this video and you are dealing with Automax, just take an extra precaution. If you want to film your dealings with them, because they didn't want us to film when we were dealing with them. We sat down, we had to basically put our phones on the desk and we talked to them. I tried to ask them to replace certain parts. They just wouldn't do it, and they said, look, we wouldn't do it. I hope that my experience and my stuff up helps you out in some way, and just, yeah, whatever you do, just be careful, get a second opinion, go over it. And if you're going to look over a car, go over it with your phone, film it with what you see, and then compare it with what the ad says, because I picked out the kilometers on the ad are off, and the kilometers not just off by 2,000 k's. They have a 20,000 kilometer on the top, and then a 22,000 kilometer on the ad. I'll just bring it up. So driven kilometers, it says 20,000. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it. I'll have a link to the ad, but you'll see it. And then they've written down also in the description, they've got, where is it? 22,000, I believe I found on here. Here we go. And then it got 22,000 kilometers. So they were driving this car, right? And they weren't updating the kilometers. So when we initially went to purchase the car, the kilometers was more than 22,000, right? But apparently on the sales paper, they put down 22,000. But when the car was being picked up, there was over 23,000. So, what can you do? Like, there's a lot of red flags. If I knew what I knew now, I would have seen the car in person and would have hammered the price down even more. I reckon I probably would have been able to wipe off at least maybe another 300,000 to 400,000 off this car, but I was only able to wipe off 200,000, then finding out more problems. Another big hint that I found with this auto dealer is if they start turning around to you and say, oh no, that this part is excluded, this is excluded, obviously there's something wrong with that car or something wrong with that part, right? And I believe the guys at Autobot tried to hint to this by saying upgrades. I only found out about this when I went to their auto shop and I met one of the mechanics that recognized the car, and then he explained to me what was going on. So going into what the mechanic said at Autobot, I can't tell the guy's name. He wanted to stay anonymous, but from what I understand from his point of view is the dealership had basically limited what Autobot can actually look at the car. So we were basically told the car was drivable and that there was no other issues. By the time that we got the hold of it, and the car has been sitting in a garage for 5 months, and then I've flown over and I found the problems, and then I've done the back and forth slapping between Autobot and Automax, I found the truth and I found what was going on. It took a lot of my time, a lot of patience, but I came down to what was actually the truth. And the truth is that Automax tried to hide as many of the faults as possible. The sensors have not arrived. I've been getting excuses for the sensors. I got excuses for the side steps that never worked. Excuses for the winch that never worked. Just do not don't put yourself in my position, and try and save yourself some money, and maybe even look at going another place. My experience was horrible. Yes, they tried to do a service with a smile, but I honestly, I felt like I was getting stabbed in the back after all of this. Everyone that I've come across have told me and kept on hammering me, you should have got it in writing, you should have got it in writing. And I've learned, like, yeah, do it in person. Don't get a friend to do it. Don't rely on face value over here. In Australia, we understand if you say something, you hold it to their word. That's what I tried to do over here, and then she's turned around and said, no, we're going to bring legal into this because we don't have nothing in writing. I'm not going to fix it. It sucks, but that's where I am at. I'm going to leave it as that. Don't put yourself in my shoes. Take it easy.